Hi everyone and welcome back to the Lewis Pickering Football Show. On today's episode I'm going to be reviewing game week 1 of the Sky Bet Championship, going through what predictions that I'd put, seeing if I got any right. The Championship's hard enough to predict, never mind the first game week. And I'll go through what I thought of the first games and who did well, and some shock results in my opinion. After I've reviewed everything that has gone on in the game week, I'll then give my score predictions for game week 2. Right, so I'll do 4 games at a time, and I'll tell you what I predicted last week and what the actual score was and what I thought of the game. Let's start off with Watford v Middlesbrough. Friday night kicked off the football season. I predicted a 1-1 draw, a tight 1-1 draw, and it ended up being 1-0 to Watford. That's no points for me. Well, I think if you watch the game, there was nothing between the teams. Watford scored from a set piece and Middlesbrough missed a late chance from a set piece. Could have easily been 1-1 and a 2-point score for me. But it didn't happen that way. Watford, with their new minds, will be happy with their start to the season. The young lad, João Pedro, from 18-year-old, he looks like a carbon copy of Richarlison. And I think he looks an outstanding talent. Coming into the Championship first game, he just took it like a duck to water. And I think he'll be a big player for Watford this season. The early game on Sky Sports on Saturday was Birmingham v Brentford. Tight game again. I know it's tight, it's the Championship, you know what it's like, tight games. I predicted 1-0 to Brentford and it was actually 1-0 to Birmingham. Cracking result for Aitor Karanka in his first home game for Birmingham. So that's another no points for me. But yeah, Brentford hit the post just before Birmingham scored. If Brentford scored first, you never know what could have happened, but they didn't. Birmingham scored off a set piece, great front post header. Next game was 2 newly promoted clubs, Wycombe v Rotherham, and I finally get a point. I predicted Rotherham to go to Wycombe and win. I didn't see many people predict that, so I'm quite proud of that prediction. I predicted Rotherham 2-0, he ended up winning 1-0, but it's a great start for Rotherham to go to a team who you come up with and get the late winner. 3 points on the board straight away, cracking result for Rotherham. And finally, Bournemouth v Blackburn. I got this mixed up last week. I thought Blackburn were at home. It won't happen again. I won't make that mistake. And I don't know where. I looked at the fixtures, and on the fixtures that I looked like, it said Blackburn v Bournemouth. I won't be using that site again. I predicted Blackburn because obviously Blackburn home form's been great over the past year under Tony Mowbray. But it was actually Bournemouth are at home, and I couldn't really change my prediction. I predicted 2-1 Blackburn, ended up being 3-2 Bournemouth. Sounded like a cracking game. Bournemouth scored goals last time they were in Championship. I think they were top scorers in the Championship last time they got promoted. Solanke hopefully finds his level at Championship. Do you know what I mean? Maybe this is his level. Obviously he wouldn't like to think so, but maybe it is his level. A full season in the Championship, maybe get 15 goals and his confidence will fly back. But yeah, it finished 3-2 to Bournemouth, and that's no points. So out of a possible 8 points, that's 1 point for me, one correct result. Right, so let's move on to the next 4. I think I got all these predictions right. Barnsley-Luton, I predicted a 1-0 win for Barnsley. It was actually a 1-0 win for Luton. Great start for Nathan Jones and Luton, who I think 2 teams will be quite close to each other this season. Looking at the stats for this game, they had 1 shot on target each and Luton scored with theirs. A Barnsley fan commented saying the ref was really against Barnsley, give Luton everything. Obviously I didn't see the game, but interesting comment there. Like I said, great result for Nathan Jones, going away in your first game and winning 1-0, so that's no points for me, but a great win for Luton. Next game, shocker, 2-0 derby. I said Reading. I keep underestimating you, Reading, I'm sorry. Lucas João looks like a world beater apparently. Chris Kamara said he was unplayable, and in the pre-season Reading fans have been going mad about him, saying he's unbelievable, so it'll be interesting to see if he can keep that form up and maybe fire Reading high up into the table. But yeah, I predicted a derby win 2-0. It was actually 2-0 to Reading. Cracking result that on the first day of the season. Not many teams will go to derby and win, and it's a great result for Reading. Another no points for me. Bristol City Coventry. Bristol City got a late winner against Coventry City and won 2-1. I said Coventry wouldn't get beat. I said 2-1 to Coventry. I think I was a bit over ambitious with that prediction, but I think Coventry will be in a lot of games this season. You won't see Coventry come up and get battered. They'll be close in a lot of games, and they were in it till the 83rd minute, and Bristol City got a winner. So that's another no points to me. A familiar saying in this video. And last but not least, Cardiff v Sheffield Wednesday. No points. Now Cardiff, very good at home. Sheffield Wednesday, doom and gloom, minus 12 points. This would have been my banker of the weekend, Cardiff City at home, but fair play to Sheffield Wednesday. It's hard to go to Cardiff and win at the best of times, but to go there and win when you've got minus 12 points, so you know every game at the start of the season is vital, is absolutely brilliant, and fair play to Gary Monk and Sheffield Wednesday for going there and winning 2-0. So from these 4 games, a magical 0 points. And last but not least, we move on to the final 4 fixtures of game week 1 of the Championship. I promise if you've stuck with me, there's a few better predictions in here. Huddersfield Norwich, I predicted Norwich to win 2-1 by 1 goal. Norwich did win, but they won 1-0. Close prediction, and I get a point for that prediction. Nice for Norwich to get off to a winning start, seeing as though I've predicted them to go and win the league. Adam Ida, the young lad, come off terrible mistake by Richard Stearman to give the ball away, but Norwich will thank him for that, and they get 3 points in the opening game week. Next prediction I'm really proud of, Millwall Stoke. In my preview, if you watched it, I said Millwall Stoke is the tightest game of the Championship and the hardest one to call. I said there's nothing between the two teams, and I can't see anything being different when the scoreline comes up. I said 1-1, and it was actually 0-0, but yeah, tight, and I get a point for that. I'm proud of that prediction. Tight 0-0. The next 2 not so great. Preston Swansea, I said 1-0 to Preston, and it was actually 1-0 to Swansea. Another tight game. I know I've said tight in the Championship, but you know what it's like. Anyone can beat anyone. Morgan Gibbs-White with the winner. What a signing that is. For me, he could play in Wolves midfield in the Premier League, like in and out. Moutinho's obviously getting on now, and I thought he would have been given more of a chance this season. But I think he's going to prove Wolves that he should have been kept in the squad this season. But I suppose regular football, I think he'll play every week, every minute for Swansea this season, so hopefully he gets a lot of games under his belt. So no points for me on that one. And last but not least, Queen's Park Rangers v Forest. I predicted 3-1 to Forest. It was actually 2-0 to QPR. Cracking opening day with victory for QPR. Lyndon Dykes getting off the score sheet. Just signed him from Livingston. He's Scotland's main number 9. Scored his first goal for Scotland in the internationals. Sorry, Forest fans, but it doesn't look like the hangover's over from last season. I didn't see QPR winning, and they did. But yeah, so that's my predictions. I ended up getting 3 correct results with no correct scores. I'll leave my score in the comments below because I'm going to keep a tally each week, and I don't think it can get any worse than this week, do you? Yeah, so that's my review of the first game week. Performance of the game week got to be between Sheffield Wednesday and Reading, both 2-0 away victories to Derby and Cardiff, 2 teams with very strong home forms. So that's it for my game week 1 review, and now I'm going to get on to game week 2 and my predictions for the game week. So first game of game week 2 is Friday night fixture between Coventry and QPR, Coventry's first home fixture after being back in the Championship. Queen's Park Rangers cracking first result, 2-0 at home to Forest. Will be looking to continue that form. I think Coventry will be bang up for their first home game. I know I backed them to get some last week and they didn't, but at home I'm gonna back them to get a point, 1-1 against QPR. So next game is between 2 teams who I expect to be in and around the playoff picture this year, but after the first game week they'll both be looking to get points on the table. Forest, as we've seen, defeat away to Queen's Park Rangers, and Cardiff a shock result at home to Sheffield Wednesday, both 2-0 defeats. This game's 12:30 kick-off on Sky, and I'll be watching. It'll be an interesting game. Tight one to call. I'm going to back Cardiff to bounce back 1-0. So we move on to the first of the 3 o'clockers on Saturday, and it's Blackburn Rovers at home to Wycombe Wanderers. Yes, Blackburn are at home. Both teams suffered defeats, obviously a bit different. Blackburn went away to newly relegated Bournemouth and lost by 1 goal. Wycombe disappointingly got beat by Rotherham, who they come up with last season at home. That'll have been a fixture where Wycombe will have thought they would have picked up points. Like I said last week when I thought Blackburn were at home, Blackburn's home record's very good under Tony Mowbray, and I've seen this being as routine as you come. Blackburn home win. I really struggle to see where Wycombe will pick up points this season. if I had to pick one team who I think will definitely win this weekend in the Championship, it's Blackburn, and I'm going 2-0 comfortable. Next game at 3 o'clock is Brentford at home at Huddersfield. Both again suffered defeats last weekend. Brentford away at Birmingham and Huddersfield at home to Norwich, both 1-0 defeats, and they'll both be looking to put points on the table. Brentford's first league game in their new home, and they'll want to get off to a winning start. I don't see where the goals are going to come from for Huddersfield. I think they're really going to struggle. I wouldn't surprise me if them and Wickham were the two lowest scorers in the league this season. Brentford first league game at home, like I say, and I'm going to back them to get the 3 points. 2-1 Brentford. So let's move on to Luton Town v Derby County, another one of the 3 o'clockers. Both had very different results last week. Luton Town be absolutely buzzing, getting 3 points away at Barnsley, as we've seen, and Derby will be very shocked by getting beat 2-0 at home by Reading. I expect Derby to be pushing towards the playoffs this season, not quite getting there, but be in and around it. Very different results, and I think this week I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to say Derby to get their first win and Luton to get their first defeat. I'm going to I'm going to back Derby to bounce back. 2-1 Derby at Kenilworth Road. Next up, we have Martin Middlesbrough at home and newly relegated Bournemouth. Middlesbrough started with Watford away at Bournemouth home. I think it's a pretty solid start to the Championship, if you ask me. I'm going to back Middlesbrough to get their first point on the board, but I'm going to back a draw. I think with Bournemouth this season, you'll see plenty of goals in their games, and they're a good attacking side and they score plenty of goals. But I think obviously they've conceded 2 at home to Blackburn. I think they'll concede 2 again. I'm going for a cracker game, 2-2 at the Riverside. Next up, we have Norwich Preston at Carrow Road. For me, Norwich cracking win at Huddersfield last week. It's always hard on the first game of the season, and it's always hard to go away and win in the Championship. I think if you win away in the Championship, it's always a cracking result. For me, Preston getting beat at home by Swansea. I thought Preston normally get most of their points at home. For me, I don't see anything other than a Norwich win here. Norwich always seem to score goals in the Championship. I'm going to back them to score 3 today and Preston to get 1. Norwich 3, Preston 1 at Carrow Road. Reading v Barnsley is another 3 o'clock kick-off. I'm going to back Reading at home. I always underestimate Reading. They had a cracking win at Derby last week. Lucas Shaw on the score sheet was unplayable, like I've said in my review of last game week. I'm just going to go with form. Reading had a cracking result. I'm going to back them to get another good result. 2-1 at home to Barnsley. Next up, we have Rotherham v Millwall. I think this is my tight game again. Millwall again, very tight. I've went either way on this. I really think it could go either way, so I'm going to sit on the fence and back a 1-1 draw. Millwall to get their second draw in a row. Next up, we have Sheffield Wednesday v Watford. Obviously, I've said in my review, both got brilliant wins last week and both kept a clean sheet. I think they'll both not keep a clean sheet today. I think there'll be goals in this game. I'm going to back Watford for 2 wins out of 2. Hard place to go and win Hillsborough, but I think Watford will have too much quality. I'm going to back Watford to win at Hillsborough 2-1. Last of the 3 o'clockers on Saturday see Swansea host Birmingham. Both won 1-0 last week and great results. Great to get 3 points early in the start of the season. Swansea's strong at the Liberty. Morgan Gibbs-White, I touched him in his review. On my review, I think he's a cracking player and I'm going to back him to get the winner. 1-0 Swansea. Last but not least, we have Stoke City v Bristol City, 2 o'clock kick on Sunday. I think that's because they're playing the Carabao Cup on Thursday. Correct me if I'm wrong, Stoke and Bristol City fans. For Stoke to get in the playoffs this season, I think they need to make the Britannia an absolute fortress. In the Premier League, teams used to fear going there, and I think they need to get that back into the system. I think when the fans come back, that'll obviously really help Stoke. I think Stoke fans are a weird one. If it's going really well, they're a great asset for the team, but if it's going bad, they can be a bit hostile towards the team, so it's an interesting one. I think, like I said, if Stoke are getting the playoffs, I think their home form's going to be vital. I'm going to back them at home this week, and I'm going to back them to beat Bristol City 2-0. So that is it for my video today. I've done a review of game week 1, obviously not the greatest predictions from me. Hopefully game week 2 will be a lot better. You've seen my predictions for game week 2. Get in the comments below. There's been a lot more comments in the Championship about your own teams and I'm absolutely loving it. I'll reply to every single comment. Let me know if you think I've underestimated your team or if I've bigged your team up too much. Like I said, get in the comments below because I'll reply to all of them. I love replying, I love talking about football. If you've liked the video, please hit like and subscribe. Please hit that notification bell so you'll never miss an episode. This has been the Lewis Pickering Football Show and I'll catch you on the next time. Bye.